Okay, I'm just going to keep working these problems. If you do enough of them, you'll catch on. It is a little tough. All right, so this one we're going to start by multiplying the 3 and the 20. And we get 60. So we want the factors of 60 that when we add them equals 17, or negative 17. So it's going to be 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12. All right, and then there's 6 and 10 also. The 5 and 12 are the ones that add up to 17. So we go 3x squared. Okay, we're going to use 5 and 12, but we need it to be negative, so we're going to use negative 5x and negative 12x plus 20. So we take a look at the first two. What can I take out of them? Just an x. So when I take the x out, I'm left with 3x. When I take the x out, I'm left with minus 5. All right, then I look at these. And I say, what do I have to take out of negative 12 to make it 3? Well, I got to divide it by negative 4. And I'm left with 3x. And 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. But you shouldn't have to think about that all that much because it's just the same as that one. And then the last step, x minus 4, 3x minus 5. All right, so the next one. So we factor these two together and multiply these two together. We get 100. So we're looking for factors of 100 that when we add them equals 29. So 1 and 100, that's not going to be it. Well, I'll write it down. 1 and 100, 2 and 50, 4 and 25, and that's the one. When I add those together, it equals 29. So I'm going to write down 10x squared plus 4x plus 25x plus 10. And I did plus and plus because when I add those together, I get a positive 29. Okay, so what can I take out of the first two? I can divide both those by 2, and I can take out an x. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. And I took out one of the x's. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And I took out the x. So I look at these two. What do I need to do to this to get it to be 5x? I need to divide it by 5. So 25 divided by 5 is 5x. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And one more step. Two x plus 5 and 5x plus 2. All right, let's look at the next two. So we multiply these two together, and we get 60. So we're looking for factors of 60 that when we subtract them equals 7. So 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, and 5 and 12, and 6 and 10. But 5 and 12, when we subtract those, equals 7. So, we write those down. 3x squared. We're using 5 and 12, but since this needs to be positive, the bigger one's going to be positive. So plus 12 minus 5 minus 20. So We look at the first two. What can I factor out of those? 3 and an x. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. I take one of the x's out. 12 divided by 3 is 4. I take the x out. What do I need to divide this by? This -5 by to make it 1x. I need to divide it by -5. So -5 divided by -5 is 1, or just x. And -20 divided by -5 is 4. But again, it'll be the same one as this one if we've done it right. And one last step, 3x minus 5 and x plus 4. Alright, now our numbers are getting a little bit bigger. So 3 times 56. So we have 168. Now this is one where we really might want to grab that calculator and put in the y equals the 168 divided by x, which will give us our list of factors rather than trying to do this one by hand. Alright, I went ahead and paused this to work these out so you didn't have to watch me do that. Again, I would probably use the calculator for this one as they get this big. But we're looking for factors of 168 that when we add them equal 29 or -29. So I went and worked them all out, and if we look here, these two, when we add them together, equal 29. But since it needs to be negative, they're going to be -8x and -21x. So we'll go 3x squared minus 8x minus 21x plus 56. Take a look at the first two. What can we factor out of those? Just an x. 3x minus 8. Alright, so what do we need to do to -21 to get it to be a 3? We need to divide by 7, actually -7, and that should be 3x minus 8. So one last step. And those are our factors. Alright, here we go again. So 9 times 10 is 90. So we're looking for factors of 90 that when I subtract them equal 9. So again, this is one that might be good to do on the calculator. I'm going to go ahead and pause and write them out, and then you can take a look. So here are the factors of 90. Remember, you can use on your calculator, you can put in y equals and do 90 divided by x, and you can find those factors pretty easily. So which one of those that when we subtract them equal 9? So it's this one here. So we're going to use 6x and 15x. The bigger one needs to be positive, so we're going to use positive 15 and -6. And by the way, it doesn't matter which order you write this in. I'm going to put the negative here this time. (15x minus 10). So we look at the first two. What can we factor out? We can take a 3x out. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. I take one of the x's out. -6 divided by 3 is -2. So what do I need to do to 15 to make it be a 3? I need to divide by 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3x. -10 divided by 5 is -2. 3x plus 5, 3x minus 2. Alright, so over here, 12 times 4, it's 48. So when we're looking for factors of 48 that when we add them equal -19. I'm going to pause this and write down the factors. Okay, again, you can use on your calculator, you can go into y equals and go 48 divided by x, And it'll give you these pretty easily if you don't want to work them out. So which ones that when I add them equal 19? The 3 and the 16. We need this to be negative 19 though, so we're going to do negative 3x and negative 16x. We have 12x squared minus 3x minus 16x plus 4. Okay, we look at the first two. What can we factor out? We're going to take out a 3x. 12 divided by 3 is 4. We took one of the x's. Negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. And we took the other x. So what do we need to do to negative 16 to make it a 4? We need to divide by negative 4. And I think you've noticed by now that as long as you figure out what that number goes there, this is just going to be the same. And we can write these down. And there we have it.